Okay, in this recording we're going to talk about solving and graphing absolute value equations. First off, a reminder, what is absolute value? And we talked about this in class, so you should be pretty familiar with this. Absolute value is the measure of distance. That's why it's always positive. And absolute value is the distance from zero on a number line. And one of the most challenging parts of solving and graphing absolute value equations is just remembering how to read them. So we're going to write some and translate from words to the actual equations. Remember, distance is shown with absolute value. So to write our equation, the distance between a number and 4 is 3. And we remember how to translate equations by looking for the equal sign and then determining what goes on either side of the equal sign. Also, always remember that absolute value is shown by subtraction, and that's why we have a subtraction sign in this equation. Now, remembering that, let's look at the next problem. It says the distance between a number and -1 is 5. And we talked about in class, to write this correctly, we need to realize that there's two negative signs, and that results in a positive. So we want to write our absolute value equations with negative numbers as addition instead of subtraction. So we have x, the absolute value of x plus 1 equals 5. Okay, and the last equation, the distance between 6 and a number equals 2. Okay, so the wording is really important, and remembering how we read the equations is going to be very important when we think about how we graph them. Okay, so now let's graph some. And we really have to do some thinking with this. This says the distance between a number and 5 is 1. So we first look for our target number, okay, which is 5, and we're going to put that number in the middle of our number line. Okay, and we know the distance between a number and 5 is 1, so we just have to find the 2 points on our graph, and we know that x can be 4 or x can be 6. Okay? For the second problem, the distance between a number and -3, remember that double negative, because this could be written like minus -3, and since absolute value or distance is shown by subtraction, we have to remember when we see x plus 3 in an absolute value symbol, that really means x minus a -3. And so we can read this, the distance between a number and -3 is 4, so our target number is -3. So if -3 is our target, and we want to look for the numbers that are 4 units away from -3, our answers can be x equals -7 or x equals 1.